All right, it is an all new drinks to words by ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. It's been a freaking while, and
It has. It's been a lot. It's been a lot.
what is it? Uh, Longingness makes the heart grow fonder, or something like that.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder,
Yeah,
or
something
whatever
like
or the fuck this is. Your heart must be like exploding from the distance that you have over the years.
from everybody, man. And it's funny. The more distant I am, the more I want to be undistant. As I'm having some car problems, and I just have not found a mechanic around here that I trust, and it's so true. Once you have a mechanic, you're like married to them, you
Yeah.
know. And so now I'm like, oh man, I got to be in West Covina tomorrow to go. Oh, hopefully my car makes it. It's the whole
Oh, that
gamble.
bad, huh?
Yeah, yeah. There's like I don't know. There's some weirdness happening. So hopefully I make it there, and then hopefully they could get it fixed, and I'll be off and running to the races afterwards. But it's been like going on for 2 weeks. I haven't had the time. Sometimes in our lives, time just there's no time for personal shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to like. It's like I remember like, oh, what do you do with your days off? I work. What do you do with your day? I work. I take days off of work to go work. That's when I was doing the double job thing. Yeah, I mean, it's I get it, especially with you being further, and women always complain that men have commitment issues. No, if I commit to my barber, you had somebody to cut your hair, you commit to that person. You have a mechanic, you commit to that person.
Exactly. So yeah, so going through all of that. But it is an all new drinks to words by David. What are you drinking?
Just some whiskey and coke, sir. Whiskey and coke. Just keeping it
Random
simple, huh?
random whiskey?
Jim, little Jim Beams,
Oh, okay, yeah.
little Jims. I didn't want to go into the good stuff. I just picked up another bottle of the Old Forester, but that's
Mm.
a special occasion whiskey. It's like a nice sit and sip.
This
We
is
don't we don't sit and sip when we're talking here.
you mean this isn't a special occasion?
You were always a special occasion, sir, but more when you're here. If you're here, like, all right, let's crack open a bottle.
Okay, and I've been saving this one for a bit, and
So
I'll give
PBR.
you no. This is an IPA called Cloud
Oh,
City. It was made in honor of May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
uh,
And it is
I felt
made,
the force on that.
yeah, and it is made by. I found a brewery right by my house.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's called Three Weavers, and it's really cool. I'm really digging it. I'm really digging the brewery vibe that's there, and yeah. But here's the thing: the parking sucks.
All of Los Angeles parking sucks.
Yeah, so there's like no parking there. So sometimes I just have enough to like park in a metered parking lot that's like expired, run in, buy beer, and then run out. So I can be like, well, I couldn't be there, so I'll just buy some beer and then just go home.
It's like the vibe is I buy the beer. That's it. That's the
Yeah,
vibe.
but I can't wait to show it to you. If you ever come down and visit me, um,
Yeah,
it
never do that. I know you had some guests recently.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I did kind of like a little um welcome home party, or home welcoming. I forgot what they're called. Housewarming party.
Housewarming party.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it was like a housewarming party slash poker party, because I was like, well, I want to do something other than just drink. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know what else to do. Um, and yeah, so we had it, but we didn't play poker. That was the hilarious part. We were all just busy, just chatting, drinking, and I was making drinks for everyone, and everyone loved it. Everyone loved
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Um, But I wanted to get to our first topic of the day. It is, what is better, David Macias, the breakfast beer or the lunch beer?
Oh, um, I believe that's dependent on the day. Like during the week, because you associate the week with working, so maybe the lunch beer is the better concept. But like on the weekend, you have the morning beer, you know, or the occasional shower beer.
I shared beer once and I didn't like it. I was, I was too busy trying not to get the water into the beer.
Yeah, you have to have like a certain area set up for this beer. Like you have to have like your own stand, like past the water level of the shower head,
Yeah.
so it doesn't splash up. Yeah, reach up, you know. It's like patting your head, like rubbing your head and patting your stomach, or the other way around at the same time. It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I think that's my answer. Breakfast beer on the weekend, lunch beer during the week.
Yeah.
You?
I rarely do a breakfast beer, but man, it is tempting. It is seductress. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. There is a. I don't know. It's like. Do you feel like there's certain restaurants that serve beer with their breakfast, so you feel obligated? Like, this is kind of a faux pas. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. It's
Well,
mostly Mexican restaurants, by the
yeah,
way. It's mostly Mexican restaurants
yeah,
that like. Yeah, I'm like, oh, let me get my huevos rancheros and a Modelo.
yeah. You can always Mitchy and do the little kind of like, well, I'm not really drinking beer, but I am type thing.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's see, but that's the cop out though. I feel like that's the cop out. That's like the guilt free beer. He's like, there's so much other stuff in it. It's not really a
Yeah,
beer. Okay, whatever. I can do a Michi in the morning. I can't do a beer by itself. Fuck you.
yeah.
Grow up.
Although this Cloud City beer, I'm not gonna lie, I probably wouldn't do it with a Mitchy. It's that good.
Well, it's a hazy IPA. I don't think IPAs are very Michi beers in general.
Yeah, yeah. So, that's it. Sports. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I
Man, I was gone for a while,
I
man.
know.
12 days in KC. That was a long. It was a long haul.
It has been literally a month since our last broadcast, and I was thinking about this, and again, like last week we were supposed to, but I had some things come up. But I was thinking, like, we don't get paid for this.
Yeah,
Like, if this was a job,
yeah.
okay. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, we don't. And I'm like, we haven't had a donation in like a year, guys. If you want
We haven't
this,
had a guest. We haven't had a guest in
yes,
like a year, so it's like we don't have anybody to like. Oh, we're taking their time up.
I know.
So,
So, guys, it's not really our fault. It's your fault. Venmo us at Drinks to Words By, and maybe we'll get more consistent in the shows. Yeah,
but actually, you know what? Have you ever been to Kansas City?
no, no. The only places I've been to in America are Idaho. I've been
That's random.
to for a wedding. It was really cool. Where else have I been? North
Did they serve
Carolina.
potatoes?
No, but they were drunkards, man. The Idaho people, they they're like,
There's nothing else to do.
yeah, they're like your breakfast beer. How about just beer all the time beer?
Yeah.
It's like, North Carolina. Where else have I been? Might have been a one more. Oh, I was in Arizona as well. So I've been to three different. places in California. So I rarely venture out.
in California or
I mean,
or
out of
USA.
California.
It's out of California. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I've ventured out more because of the jobs that I have. So I was actually a big fan of Kansas City. The city itself, like the people that I came across, very friendly, very knowledgeable of their city. Like
I would hope.
it's bananas. Like how much they know about their city. Like apparently Hallmark owns most of Kansas City.
Really, that's where they film all their Hallmark movie specials.
That's where that's like the base. That's Hallmark is based out of Kansas City, like the halls or yeah, as the people call it. Like they own like 88 acres of land there.
Jeez.
Yeah, like most stuff out there is like their property. Um and uh and the homelessness is a big thing there in regards to like the lack of homelessness.
Okay.
Yeah, like they have like people that don't if somebody asks you for money, don't give them anything. Blah blah. I go, I'm from California. I know, I know how this works. But then like they go, yeah, we got like three in the park. We're trying to get rid of. I'm like, three? That's it?
Only?
Like they know them by name and stuff. That's that bad. But yeah, it's clean. It's fairly walkable. A lot of good food places over there.
Hmm.
A lot of good restaurants and stuff. So I got to do the foodie kind of thing.
I know you were supposed to. We were supposed to do a show from there. You know, there, and you were supposed to have some barbecue, and we were gonna like.
Barbecue. You know what? And the funny thing is, I didn't get to really get barbecue. The problem was like I didn't. When I get to these jobs, a lot of the times I don't know what I'm doing yet, so it's hard to kind of plan. And my my position, I had to be at work at 4 in the morning.
Jeez.
Yeah, so by the time I'm done with my shift, I'm like, I really don't want to walk 20 minutes to go to a restaurant and eat by myself and stuff. So, and it gets, obviously I'm 2 hours ahead. So it gets late early for me, as opposed to you guys.
Yeah.
So like I was going to bed at 9 p.m. because I got to be up at 3 in the morning there, which is only 7 here. So it's so early. Like I'm tired. I've been up since 1 a.m. your time. So
And the irony in all this is that when you get off work, seriously, like, we only have maybe 4, maybe even 3 hours before we go to bed of time for ourselves.
yeah,
And it's an odd thing. It's like, man, like, unless I give up sleep, then I'm gonna, then I got more time. But I'm not giving up sleep. I'm on an 8-9 hour sleep regime these days.
are
I
you?
need all the sleep I could get. Yeah. So, by the time I get home, eat, shower, I have an hour and a half to fuck around, But not even that, because I don't know if you know this, David, but I have other shows that I do.
I do. I do. I know this.
So it's like I'm still doing, and usually I'm 1 week ahead in my music show, and I'm still like trying to get 1 week ahead right now because I just haven't had that many good submissions lately. So every day I have to go look at music or listen to music and listen and see what I like, what I don't like. There's a lot of what I don't like, but there's that. Then there's the movie
Okay,
show.
okay, real quick in regards to the music. Okay, so in the stuff that you don't like, has that changed over time, or do you feel that your choice in music and submissions and everything has stayed consistent, or have you had to adapt
No,
to the styles of music now?
no, I haven't, because for it's weird because once you let metal in, it's they try to take over. Like 80% now of my submissions are metal bands. And I'm just like, dude, you let one metal band in, they all want it, like literally all of them. And
We found a platform.
Yeah, I'm just like, no. But I still listen to them because I'm like, there might be that one band, but very rarely, do I find a band. But when I do, I'm like, oh, let's play it. Or I'm like, where can I fit this into this eclectic mix of music? So usually I usually use it for the at the end, and I'm like, here's your little metal fix, at the end of the show. Sometimes, unless I find like a bunch that I'm like, okay, I can make one whole complete show out of this. But for the most part, I have a very eclectic taste, and sometimes I find music that I don't even know what they're talking about because I don't know what language they're singing in, but I'll like
Yeah.
it. I'll be like, there's something about this song. I don't know what it is, and I'll play it. So I played some Israeli. I played some French, obviously. Right now, I just found a band that I really dug from Brazil, and I'll sneak one of those songs in every now and then. So I'm really open. It's just sometimes it's just overwhelming with the submissions that you get. And it's just daunting because I really take the time to listen and try to get, because I'm like, well, they sent this to me, so let me, at least give them a listen. So there's a lot of crap that I got to go through. so, but it's fun,
The diamonds in the rough, huh? Diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, yeah, but and then even finding those little diamonds, I'm like, do I want to? They may not even have enough music to interview them. So I'm like, well, I maybe like the one or two songs out of this album or whatever, and I'm like, they're not there yet. I'm like, I can't interview these guys yet. So and then if I do, it's the luck of the draw. It's like let me see if these guys want to get interviewed by moi, and
Oui, moi.
and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I found this really cool hip hop person. I'm not gonna name who they are, but I was like, oh man, this is cool. And so we emailed each other and they're like, yeah, 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 I want to be on. And I'm like, all right, perfect. This is cool. And then I'm like, okay, so first you're going to need a Skype account. And they're just like, oh, I'm out. Like, fuck. I'm like, all you have to,
It's
and
free.
it's
It's free.
free. You just got to set that up and send me a picture of yourself and 3 songs to play. And that was too much work for them. Just like,
I feel very strong of their career.
yeah.
Put in the work that they had.
So I was like, all right, you're lost, whatever. Um, so yeah, so it's always funny that part of my life. Although, I this isn't like breaking news or anything. It might be, but yeah, as you know, I do some consulting from time to time, and I've been consulting this new radio station that's going to pop up in San Pedro, and I might have an opportunity there. I might not. So um, but they
That'd be
want,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. But they wanted to see about having an engineer come in and actually create the actual nuts and bolts of the radio station. And as much as I would love to do it, I was like, you know what, this is something for, I'm much more of a novice. Yeah, I tinker and I got all my shit down, but I was like, I want to bring in a real someone that has actually built radio stations because I know a few people that have. And so I emailed an old buddy of mine, named Steve Scholar, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" We were talking really briefly, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I still, watch your podcast or listen to them from time to time." And he's like, "Dude," he's like, "I think you're the longest running podcast." Like, and I'm like, "I think I am." Like I did that never even, came in my brain for how long I've been. I mean, I always say, "Oh, I've been doing this for like 15 years," but like that's just me doing it. But for someone else to say, "Dude, you might be the longest running, podcast platform out there," it says something, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like I haven't even like stuff like that doesn't even come to my brain sometimes. So that felt kind of cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that's awesome.
to be kind of recognized by kind of a peer of
I,
mine.
I, I'm over here like, I know a guy. It's really, this has been on for a long time.
15 years, David, since 2008. You know,
Wow.
I've been doing this just with bands, and like I tell people, I'm like I've done over 1,000 shows, and I'm pretty sure it's maybe even more than that. So
Especially combined with all your podcasts.
yeah, and all my little side projects that I did and stuff like that. So I've definitely put in the work. But also,
We got to do is we got to build our own like IMDb of podcasts.
mhm, it would just be us
You know
two.
what I mean?
That's it.
No, but you've seen like other people who are trying to get like, oh, I'm gonna put my thing and like this is my podcast. This is how many episodes. That'd be kind of actually not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Hmm, look into this.
yeah. Let me at least put me in there. If you're gonna do it, put me in there.
We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see. Think about
yeah.
it.
I, I've been flirting with the idea of the keyboard and synth and playing synth and stuff like that. Listening to all this music and stuff like that. I get ideas, or sometimes I play music not because to play music, but to kind of get in the head of a musician. And so lately the keyboard and the synth have been like coming to me, and I might actually be getting a keyboard this week from a mutual friend of ours, Mo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was talking to him, and it's weird how when you put stuff out in the universe, and you just never know what's going to happen. This is why it's good to put things out in the universe. I wasn't like telling everyone, "Oh my god, I need a keyboard." I was like, "I'm looking for something. I'm looking for a keyboard." I'm like, I'm looking online, and I just can't find anything that kind of is what I'm looking for. And so then I found something, but then just randomly Mo called me, and we were talking. I'm like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna pick up a keyboard in a couple days. I think I found one. He's like, I have a keyboard. He's like, it's just taking up dust. He's like, nobody uses it. He's like, do you want it? It's yours. And I'm like, free and instead of pay for one. I'm like, you got it.
You got it. Especially if you're just starting out, so it's like even better. Like it may not have everything you want, but just to kind of get your feet wet into it. Yeah,
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 yeah. Just see what kind of sounds I can make, or I don't know. Maybe one day you're gonna tune in. I'm just gonna have a keyboard right here. I'm like, oh, David, how's it going?
yeah, yeah.
Add a little music to the show and stuff like that. So yeah, so it's just weird.
Get the laugh track in the background.
Yeah. But have you ever done that, David? Have you ever put something out in the universe, and then unbeknownst to yourself, it just kind of emerged?
um, I'm sure I have. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I'm sure. Actually, you know what? More often than not, it tends to be work. Like, let's say, oh man, like I really need a job. Somebody's like, I got you. Come here, and like that happened when I was at a really low point. I was like unemployed, and I was like really struggling. Somebody's like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" I go, "Nothing." And I ended up working a music festival, doing like security. And sure enough, those 3 days, I ended up working at that place at the observatory for like 3 years, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it happens more often with stuff like that, like jobs and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah. With
yeah,
me, it happens with like gear, and just I needed a couch, and two fell in my lap for free. So I'm like this is cool.
yeah.
So I guess we both have different superpowers for different things.
But
Um,
I think what it is often not is the people that like you're such a friendly, just great person to know and be around that people are like, oh, I can help you. I think sometimes people are like, I didn't think I was going to get rid of this, but this is perfect. It kind of, and it's like, I can trust you and give you something. Like I want to be able to help you. I think a lot of it's that as well as if people, we know enough people through each other. Like we know a lot of people that people are willing and wanting to help. So that is a big thing as well.
And as always, we know you. And if you want to help us, Venmo us, drinkstewardsby at Gmail. No, wait, just at drinksteward. It's been a while since we've done this. So like at
Yeah,
drinkstewardsby is our Venmo account.
it's
So
drinks towards by everything. That's Andrew.
yeah,
Everything's drinks.
yeah. You know what's kind of weird too is I've always been a big Lionel Richie fan,
Mm-hmm.
and we've talked about this, discussed, but he's having somewhat of an explosion lately because did you see his performance for our new king, King Charles?
No, I didn't watch the coronation, so I didn't know Lionel Richie performed at the coronation. That's interesting. That's a. I mean, I get it. It kind of suits the time. Charles King, or now King Charles, grew up with like listening to Lionel Richie and stuff. Yeah, I get it. I did not know that he performed at the coronation.
Yeah, it was cool. He did what's it uh Sunday the easy, and then he
Yeah.
did all night long, which I thought was an interesting song because it has a very Caribbean vibe to it, and I'm just like, okay, but everybody in the
Well,
crowd was singing. You know what I mean? That was even stranger. I'm like, look at these English singing Lionel
well,
Richie.
well. I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure. The Caribbean was owned by the British at one point, so it's like still our
Touche,
music.
touche. Oh man, but it just happened that I watched the coronation. I got off work and it was a late day. It was, what day was it? It was the 6th, right? It was last week, and we had our big single day drinko party, huge success. And I got home late from work, and then watching everybody drink, is such a tease because then I get home and I'm like, dude, I want to drink after seeing all these people drink. So then before you know it, I'm drinking, and then before you know it, it's like 4 in the morning, and I'm like, oh my god, what did I do? But then
Yeah.
as I'm about to turn off YouTube because I'm watching music videos, um, they're like, oh, watch the coronation live, and I'm like, what? That's right. This guy's getting coordinated. So, you know, I turned it on, and thank God I was already wasted because I was just like, it's like this is so boring. Like,
Well, I mean, what did you expect? You have no skin in the game for it. I mean, outside of the fact that it's the language we speak, what do we have?
yeah,
What's our connection to England and their choice of monarchy, so to speak? Was that the word I'm looking
yeah,
for? Like
yeah,
they're
true.
so we're a democracy here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's still a democracy there. Really,
Yeah,
the monarchy there is just more of symbolism than anything.
yeah,
And
it's for show and everything more than anything because they have parliament, and they have their own, all that stuff. I know, I'm just bullshitting. I'm just
yeah,
poking fun
who knew
because
that you were
because
so?
now we speak the king's English. We used to speak the queen's English. Now we speak the king's English.
I'll still say God save the Queen. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was pretty boring. I was just like, man, why can't there be fireworks? Why can't there be? I don't know. It just seems so dull and just like, oh man,
So were you was it like, oh man, this is terrible? Lionel Richie? You gotta like oh, Scooby.
dude, no, because I watched the ceremony. It was until later when I woke up that I follow Lionel Richie on Instagram because we have that kind of connection. And then
Yeah.
he's like, "Here I am performing," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" So he put up the video, and I'm like, "Oh shit, that's cool!" Like Lionel, because I've been dying to see him. I've been dying to see him perform because he usually does Vegas. Oh, by the way, Vegas. I got to add Vegas as another out of state California,
Nevada. I've been
Nevada.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude. I mean, I'm putting that out in the universe. I'm like, I would love to see Lionel Richie in
Well,
Vegas.
you'd mentioned that he has a residency every so often, and you wanted
Yeah,
to kind of plan to go see him.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
down.
Would you really? Would you really Lionel Richie?
Yeah, I'm down. I'll Lionel with you, buddy. I'll Lionel with you.
That'd be cool. So yeah, yeah. If you want to line with us, email us streetswordsby@gmail.com. That'd be kind of cool. We just send we just do a little, drinks and words by party, and you know do a show, maybe a pre-show, and then go to the
The
concert.
show,
And
the
yeah,
concert guy.
yeah, yeah. Would be really great if we opened for Lionel Richie. That would be kind of
Yeah.
cool. Drinks and words by, you know what I mean? That'd be cool. I
But
will.
where were you when you first heard Lionel Richie?
Yeah. Oh man, where was I? I don't even know. I was just kind of born with Lionel Richie. He was always around. Especially since he was a part of what was that band? I can't think about it right
The
now.
Commodores.
Yes, the Commodores. Yes, the Commodores. So the Commodores played a big part in my life, and then when he broke off from there and then became just Lionel Richie, it was just like, oh, I was like, wait, Commodores and Lionel Richie are the same person?
It's the same guy.
Yeah, I was a young kid. I was barely getting into like what music was, and people moving. I thought once you were in a band, that's it. You weren't leaving, type thing.
I was
I-
like, I can't remember the first time or like but I just remember the Lionel Richie videos. Like, is it Hello? And
yeah.
he's like
Oh,
in the blind girl, and she's got like this big fucking clay face of Lionel Richie, and it looks horrible. And we were like, I shouldn't judge. She's blind.
and yeah, and then all then do you remember like there was like commercials afterwards, and like later on in life, um, about that, like later on, like there was a Super Bowl commercial or something like that.
Yeah. It's like Lionel. He was dancing on the ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great, man.
Yeah.
All Night Long continues to be one of my favorite songs. I have no idea why. Well, actually, I do. I have a favorite lyric that I kind of live by, and that's the Fiesta Forever. And I always say that to myself. I always say that to I don't know why. Just whenever I'm kind of in a bad mood, or even if I'm opening up a beer or something, I just in my head I'm like Fiesta Forever, and I don't know. It's kind of been a mantra of mine, I guess.
So
Um,
when you question yourself, you're gonna have the breakfast beer, and all of a sudden, Fiesta. All right, all right, breakfast beer it is.
all night long. Do you have a mantra or like a favorite lyric of yourself?
um, no, not one that kind of like uh, does my life. I see you're more the music. Although I really like. I know I always tell like my favorite song is "No Ordinary Love" by Sade, and like
Oh
that
yeah,
song is the one that yeah that song always calms me. Like if I'm having like if I'm upset or like I'm sad, like it's just kind of like if I listen to it, I'll just kind of lose myself into it and kind of level myself out. That might be my big thing, but I was always more the movie person. Like movies helped shape the who I am type of thing and the way I looked at things. So
yeah. Any movies that you've seen as of late?
as of late, before movies, you have the Disney Plus, right?
I do.
Have you seen Muppets Mayhem?
No, I've been waiting this week to watch it because they have done something that they normally don't do, which is they release all the shows at once.
Yeah,
Normally they just
do the
do,
week by week thing. Yeah.
yeah, one week by week. So I'm a binger in alcohol, in food, and in shows. So I saw that they just did that, and that they released everything. So I've been wanting to watch it, but I'm gonna hopefully I'm either gonna do it Saturday or Sunday. I'll see.
Well, Sunday's Mother's Day, so
Yes. However, however, here's the thing. Okay, my mom issued a proclamation a couple days ago. So she said, in lieu of Sunday being Mother's Day and everyone coming to see her, she wants to do it Saturday so that my sister-in-law and my sister can have their own Mother's Day.
Gotcha.
So I thought that was very generous of her, you know. But so we're gonna do it Saturday, and it's gonna be later on in the day because it's working out perfect. Just because I have all these car troubles, my car's gonna be in the shop all day, and
Yeah.
my brother's taking photos of my niece. She's having her quinceañera in a few months. So my brother usually shoots all of his daughter's photos, and he does all this really cool video stuff. And he does like video things on the screen and stuff like that. So he's doing that that week. So he's gonna be there late. So we're all just gonna have dinner on Saturday. So Sunday is gonna be pretty free in my head. Um, so that's why
Gotcha.
I'm like, oh, I could just do it then. You know.
I'm no, but I didn't get to finish all the episodes. We started it like it was randomly like, oh, I was like, you know what? Let's watch because we watched Peter Pan and Wendy,
How's that, by
and
the way?
then eh, it's it's the exact same story, dude. It's really just a live action Peter Pan. It's really nothing to write home about. Unfortunately, it just kind of fell short for me in regards. I was hoping for something a little different, but but then we went to the Muppet Mayhem. Love it. I will die being a Muppets fan. I don't
Yeah.
care how old I am. I am a Muppets fan through and through. You know, I am really enjoying the show. Like it's entertaining. It's funny, and it's just like it's animal. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, and Dr. Tooth. Don't forget Dr. Tooth.
Dr. Tooth and Janice, and
Yeah.
yeah, Lips. Yeah, I got you. Um,
And Rolf.
and the yeah, Rolf is not part of the group.
Yes, he is. He's the
Mm-mm.
pianist.
Nope. Sorry, sir. Dr. Teeth is the pianist.
Then Rolf was a guest pianist?
Yes. Yes, penis.
I didn't
Pianist.
know that. I didn't know that. I always thought Rolf
Yeah.
was because
No,
I always
he's
thought that
not part
was
of the electrical man.
because I always thought that was so hilarious because like the Electric Baby were all in their get up, and then you see Rolf, just like well, he's Rolf, so
He's Rolf. Yeah. No, he is not part of the group. But yeah, great cameos. Uh, so it's been an joyous fucking show so far. I've really enjoyed it
now
because it's just the randomness of it.
from what I hear is that it's really not Muppets though. I mean, it's them, but I from what I've been told, they're it's all CGI, I believe.
No, if it is, it's really great CGI. I'm sure a couple of things have been CGI, but not. I don't think everything's been
Okay.
CGI.
Okay. Because in my head, I'm like, if I was Disney, I could totally get rid of the Muppets and just CGI them. To make it's less, it's more cost effective. Is
I,
what I'm.
I again, I didn't see. I don't think everything you could CGI. There was a scene where they're on stage and they have legs, which they
Right.
never really had legs.
Yeah.
Like they got skinny ass legs. But again, I didn't. If it is, it's really great CGI. If it's all CGI, I'm not. I'm sure I wasn't like too in depth in it. I was just enjoying the show,
Yeah.
but I recommend it. So I
I
recommend it. I hope to be done with it today.
I
I
will
even
be
got the
too.
wife. I even got the wife to watch it.
Well, yeah. But did that get you on a into the rabbit hole that is Disney? Like I saw the other like a couple weeks ago. Well, you were away. I went into the whole Disney plus Muppet movie stuff. So I watched all the movies, and I went down that fun rabbit hole. They're only missing one movie. Which is it? Which I think it's like the one with they're in space. But I saw their Treasure
uh,
Island. I saw Muppets Take Manhattan. Obviously the Muppet movie,
Yeah.
and the Great Caper. So
I don't know. The space one, I don't think they actually go to space, right? It's like aliens are coming,
there's something like that, something like
something like
that.
that. Maybe
Yeah,
they are in space. I don't know. I think it's like the planet of pigs.
yeah,
Looks like fucking yeah.
yeah. So something
Uh,
like that. So I mean, but I watched all those, and if you know, since we are on the subject of Muppets, if you could watch, what is it called? I mean, it might be just be called Muppets, but it was the ABC series on Channel
yeah,
7.
I watched it.
Hilarious.
I loved it. It didn't get the it didn't go as well as they had planned. I love the mixture. I love the side pig that Kermit
Yeah,
was dating.
yeah. It was fantastic, man. I love that he was the executive producer, and
Yeah,
you know, it was hilarious. All the inside jokes, all the jokes, everything was just. I was like, man, I was like, and then when I found out that Disney got the rights to all that stuff, I was just like, oh man, I didn't know how to feel because I don't know if you know this or not, but Jim Henson specifically said, he's like, I do not want the Muppets to be owned by Disney. That was like in his will and everything. And so Disney, what happened was they do the I mean, this is crazy. They bought companies that own companies that own companies just to get to the company that owned the Muppets. So like they went like they bought like they had to buy like 10 different companies in order to buy the Muppets through like
wow,
through like a
I didn't know that.
strange loophole. Yeah. Yeah, so it's crazy. I'm like, man, I wonder what Jim Henson must be doing now. But if you ever
Nothing.
yeah, but if you ever can, the Dark Crystal on Netflix, which was a Jim Henson made thing, watch that. That's even crazier because they use real Muppets, and the way they did it is absolutely fantastic. If you ever get into that whole Muppet thing, um,
Yeah.
I would recommend that as well. So
But back to movies.
oh yeah,
Went down the rabbit hole. Went
yeah.
down the rabbit hole. So, what did I watch recently? Outside of Peter, Pan, and Wendy, which me. Um, just watched the Pope's Exorcist. That was okay. Um, but I watched it. I watched it with you know, through a website, so I didn't get. It's like I didn't watch it correctly because there was a lot of subtitles that don't come up because it's like it's not included in this version. So there's a lot of dialogue that I missed. So, but for the most part, I think it was done pretty well in regards to like the little horror points of like the exorcism and the demon. So that was good. What else did I watch recently? There's something else that I literally just watched. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons.
How's that?
It's cool. It's cool. It's what you would expect it to be. It had like the comedy, the action, the fantasy of it all. Um, but it was good. There was although it was longer than it could have been because I feel like there were some parts that like you can cut this out, but at the same time it's like when you get to that middle point where like do we cut something and it kind of like takes away from the story or do we keep it in? There was like parts here and there that could have been explained better or pushed further. Um, but overall, it was decent. It was a decent sci-fi movie.
Okay.
Outside of that, no, nothing that I can think of right now. How about yourself?
Um, Nothing really, but because we're on the subject of movies, have you heard about Jamie Foxx?
He's ill, but they haven't said what he's ill with,
You know, it's
right?
really strange.
It's very hush hush, very hush hush.
Like maybe David Macias might know something. I was like, we'll see.
No, I don't. Actually, I could probably find out. Probably get.
Next show.
inquire here and there. I got the scoop. Um, yeah, I mean, it's they had to finish the movie that he was on with like stand-ins, right? I
Wow.
believe they were like there was a week left of shooting before he got ill.
Jeez. Jeez. And what a great time because then the writer's strike happened. So
Yeah.
a lot going on. Do you know anything about the writer's strike and everything? I mean, I know the nuts and bolts of it. You know, it's all about the streaming and the
Yeah,
residuals and stuff like that.
the yeah, it's because the streaming networks weren't part of um, the previous contract that was formulated when there was a writer's strike. That writers aren't getting their just dues from the streaming services. The streaming services are getting away with like contractors type of thing. You know, it's like here you can start here, but you're not going to get the residuals that you would have if we're like because they'll get the show and the residuals that were being paid to these people while it was here, they're not getting it here.
Yeah, yeah,
It kind of goes into that whole situation with Scarlett Johansson. Remember when
yeah,
uh was it Black Widow came out and they went straight to streaming and she's like, well, that you're fucking my contract up because I was supposed to make residuals off the box office. I'm not gonna, so although streaming has been huge for the viewer, the workers behind it
yeah.
are the ones that are kind of like falling prey to the streaming getting away with all the loopholes, so to speak. Um, so we'll see. I mean, I think this one could last a while. I think the last one was like, I think 9 years ago or so.
Yeah, I think it was 3 months that it lasted.
3 months, yeah. I think this one could go longer because you're gonna have all these streaming services that are like, because they all have to. I'm assuming they all have to kind of be on the same page,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So one holds out, going, "Hey, we got content. We're good for a while." So because it eats their profits now, they have to pay out more to everybody and everything. So
yeah. But then they charge us more. So it's at the end of the day, it's going to be us that has to bear the cost of that. And
so oh, you're right. You're right. It's like, hey guys, we're gonna raise it one more dollar. Like, oh, so here's something. What is a good minimum to pay monthly for streaming services, and what streaming services would you want within that? You know what I mean?
you mean like
Like,
Lord of the Rings, one service to rule them all.
well, I mean, the whole concept was you had different cable networks, and now you have no cable networks. Everybody's cut the cord, so to speak. Um, what is what is a reasonable like $50 worth of streaming
Okay,
services,
I'm going to tell you.
$70 worth of streaming services?
I'm gonna tell you my plan. Okay,
Okay,
41.99 a month. You get 4 services of your choosing.
okay. And which would be your four?
It'd be HBO, it'd be Disney Plus, the Netflix, and then I would go Hulu.
Okay.
And you got to pick which one was ad supported. So
Which one has ads and the others don't have ads?
yes,
That's actually not a bad idea. The streaming bundle.
yeah, but one has to come
I,
with ads. So
one has to come with ads. That's fine. Um, because because you can't include Amazon Prime in that because Amazon Prime is its own thing. You get that with the Prime that you get from Amazon. So I already had Amazon Prime, so Amazon Prime stuff. Um, I think I would do Netflix, Hulu. I have to do Paramount Plus because it has Champions League, it has soccer. So that like I'm stuck there. So now I have those.
regular TV has soccer, so you just watch it there.
Champions League, something different, something totally different. Um, let's see. Is it the max? Do I go with the max? And
And which one is that supported afterwards?
okay. I already know that. I already know that Hulu's ad supported. Hulu's already ad supported.
I think
I already
everybody's
deal.
fine with it.
I already deal with it now, so I'm okay sticking with it. Who's my third? Who's my fourth? Did I go with the max? Because the beauty of Hulu is Hulu actually is already like kind of bundled with ESPN Plus, so I already get the sports on there for the most part.
If they just if they made ESPN as its own tier system, I'd get ESPN. I might
Yeah,
that would make it hard to be like four. Oh no.
yeah. I'll go with the max. I go instead of Disney Plus, I would do the Paramount Plus for the champions. And there's a couple cool series on there. Tulsa King and School Spirits. So yeah, I'm gonna go Max, Paramount Plus, Hulu, and Netflix. And
And
Prime is its own entity. I already have Prime.
and Hulu, you're going with the ad support.
I'm going with the ad support of Hulu.
Okay. Now Apple Plus is also on there too, but
I'm not an Apple Plus guy.
I know not many
Um,
people are. But I mean, I'm just saying, that's out there too. So
they've been pushing a lot. I do see that they push a lot. They have a lot of big names because they have the money, but I don't think Apple Plus guy.
yeah. So let us know what your bundle would be for $41.99 a month, one with ads. Email us drinkswordsby@gmail.com.
What's your go to free site?
What do you mean?
Like all these paid ad uh, channels. What's your like go to like free free
No ads?
free movies? Yeah, no well no ads, got commercials. I'm saying just the free service. Like you
Oh,
have Tubi, you have Crackle, you have
I do Pluto.
Pluto.
I do
You do
Pluto.
Pluto?
Yeah, because there's I did it and I found it because and you'll find this hilarious because they had a channel specifically for the hills. And the hills was my like I'm working on, so it's my background show, so I'm like,
The
oh, I can,
Hills.
yeah, I can have the hills on in the background and be working on shows or whatever. But then they took it off, and then I was like, well, they have next gen, a next gen channel. So then I was watching Star Trek Next Gen, and then I was like, oh man, they took that out, and I'm like, oh, now they have a anime channel. So I'd be on the anime channel, but like real anime where they're speaking gibberish, you know what I mean? And
You mean Japanese?
yes, And
And we're canceled.
oh no, oh no, our seven viewers gone.
Yeah. My God. Wait, we offended.
Yeah, I mean, but I
Are
would
we big
always,
in the Are we big in the foreign market?
yeah, I know. But I mean, they would have the subtitles, so I'd be watching the subtitles, and
um,
but
have you?
now they have the NFL channel and the golf channel. So now the golf channel is turned into my background noise, or the NFL network if they're just showing like re-airs of games.
Didn't they bring back the Hills? Haven't they did like a reunion kind of season?
They did, but it's not on Pluto, so
Uh,
I'd have to pay for that, and I'm not hankering to be
did,
like,
did
what's going on.
did I mean? I was like, you never saw me on the Hills?
I did. I remember telling you this. We've had this
Yeah,
conversation multiple times. I'm like, you look like someone that was on the hills.
that guy that was there for like half a second. It
Yeah,
was you.
I knew. That's how big, but that's how big of a fan I was, and that's how much I watched it. That I saw you, and I'm like, David, were you on the hills? But yeah,
Good times.
yeah. And speaking of good times, sports, ladies and gentlemen, they just released the NFL
Schedule.
schedule Chargers have like 6 primetime games. It's unbelievable. They are really pushing um the Chargers, and I don't know how to
And
forget
what's that mean for you? Traffic.
exactly. Yeah. But oh, by the way, a service that we all forgot about, Peacock. Fuck
Peacock.
that.
I
I'll never
didn't.
That's garbage.
There's some football in there, isn't
Yeah,
there?
the
There's like
Chargers
Sunday
are
night games.
yeah, the Chargers are playing a game on Peacock, and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna be able to watch this?
Now, hey, I will give you this though. On Peacock, they have a lot of wrestling. You can watch WrestleMania on Peacock. You don't have to pay the pay per view. You can just get it on Peacock. I watched some of the WrestleMania on there. I was like, oh my god! And then I watched a lot of the ECW. I get my
Yeah,
old school wrestling fix.
yeah, yeah.
My wife hates it.
So I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, can I just pay for Peacock like one month, and then once that Charger game is done, just be done with it, and that'll be my one time a year that I'm like, oh, let me Peacock it up.
Peacock it up.
Yeah.
Is there anything? Peacock actually. Peacock has some stuff. They're not really big on the series, although they have like Top Chef. Um, they do have. They do tend to have movies right away. Like if they have like straight from the theater, like if they've been in the theater
Mhm.
like a week or two, then they'll be on available on Peacock. So Peacock has some good movies that you could watch, like Cocaine Bear.
Oh, did you watch it?
Yes,
What'd you think?
it's fucking phenomenal, fucking amazing.
Guys, if
I
you missed
loved every minute of it.
yeah, if you missed my review, I got to see it. I went to a special press screening of it. Just go on to Drinks Towards By, search Cocaine Bear, and you'll see. We did a whole. I did a whole thing about it. So check it out.
I loved every fucking moment of it. I could watch it again, actually.
Yeah, great soundtrack, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Oh, by the way, to revert back to movies that I saw, I just remembered, and how can I forget this? I saw "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by the Whitney Houston story.
Oh, really?
Have you
Okay.
seen that?
No, I'm not that big of
Oh,
a.
oh, David, you have to. You have to. It is a piece of Americana history, nostalgia to the max. Um,
Does it have her doing crack cocaine?
Yes, it does.
So I
But
might have to watch
but in
it.
a
Whitney, no!
no, I'm just like, "Don't be Bobby Brown, no!" Not Bobby. But, the
Damn
actors that
you, Bobby Brown.
yeah, Stanley Tucci plays, Clive Davis in this. Fantastic performance, absolutely fantastic. And, it just the whole entire time, I'm just sad because I know the ending, and, it's just to have that voice, to have all that is so tragic, and
I like how you said, I know the ending.
yeah,
I think we all did, but
I know you know what I mean, but
surprise, surprise, she lives.
yeah, I would have been done with that. Like we could totally, you know, change the ending, and I would have been happy, But unfortunately, I
That,
know.
it's funny you say that because that's how it was when I went in to go watch Titanic. Oh, I already know how this ends.
Yeah,
I'll die. It
yeah,
sinks.
yeah. So check it out if you can. I mean, they do her entire catalog in there, and it's what a voice, man, what a talent. So check it out. It really was great. But
All
back to
right.
back
Like
to
sports,
well, I mean, there is a part where they show her singing the
the national
national
anthem.
anthem at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So which was one of the best national anthems ever,
It was the longest ever, right? It's
yeah,
like broke the record for the longest national anthem.
yeah, but well worth it, well worth it. But anyway, back to sports. Uh, any fun things for your team, for the Browns?
Um, I mean, we have an early buy. I wasn't a fan of the early. We have a week 5 buy, and by week 5, we've already played everybody in our division. So
Wow.
I feel that's kind of pushing the envelope there. We have a couple prime time. We have a Thursday night versus the new Aaron Rodgers Jets.
Mm,
Yeah. But oh no, I mean it's a make or break season for our coach. If we don't make the playoffs, he's done.
yeah.
He's in the hot seat at this point. You have Deshaun Watson now. They went defense heavy in the draft, and so we're going to see what's going to happen. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm usually excited for football season. We have a I have a tradition with Eldwin and the guys that the first Sunday of the NFL we always get together and go to a bar and watch all the games. Well, at least the first round of games.
Yeah. And I could probably join in that if I can. Now that I live here in Inglewood, California, everything is just a hop, skip it, and jump away from me here.
Yeah.
So, but that's up to you if you want to invite me or not. I don't know, David. I don't know
No, yeah,
if I
that's
made
fine.
that crew, if I made that circle of friends yet. But
Of course.
um, what was I gonna say? Oh, we talked about you being in Kansas City, but now we could talk about you at the draft. Did any teams request you? Did you think you were going to go late in the draft? Well, you were there.
I was making that joke while I was there. I go at the 4 a.m. Garage selects David Macias to open up. Oh man, it was there. I'm telling you, it was fucking 4 in the morning, and the weather it never got too bad where it rained or anything, but it was there were some cold days there, like especially at 4 in the morning, and the wind chill is like you never really hear about when you hear about wind chill factor, and but it doesn't really affect people here in California the way it does in other states.
Yeah.
That wind chill factor, whew, man, that shit fucking it's a frostbite in your fucking ass right there. Um, Luckily though, my area though I started early, it had nothing to do as far as like being inside the draft area, which was like the city's shut down and it's crazy. I was very lucky with my area that I was in. I'm not gonna lie. That's full advantage of the fact that I didn't have to deal with the public. We were just making sure that the people who were working the event was parking where we were at.
One of the things I found hilarious about the draft was anytime they drafted somebody, there was a few people that had, and maybe they did it like this. I don't know if these, I don't know the logistics, but one guy got drafted and he had all the draft hats like in back of him, and he had
Yeah,
one friend, I guess, that was designated to be like, get that hat where I'm drafted, and through the entire time, the friends like which hat, which team, where's this team with this hat? Did you see that?
I did. I saw the table of hats. You try to keep that to the side, but yeah, the table of hats. It was funny.
Yeah, yeah. So and by the way, ugly hats, ugly draft hats this year. I don't know what it is, but like each year, there's never been a really favorable draft hat that I ever really liked. There was one, I think, that I purchased because I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But every year, it's like, can we make the ugliest hat and make people wear this? You know?
Yeah. Hey, at that point, I don't think they really care what it looks like. I mean, they just became millionaires. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I'll put this hat on for sure.
yeah. That's what we're watching. These people, you are congratulations, you are now a millionaire. But that comes with a price. Everybody forgets. They're like, "Oh my god, these guys came." That comes with a price. They're going to put their body in harm. I was reading somewhere that they might actually now have four quarterbacks, just because of all the concussion protocols that are happening.
Especially what happened with San Francisco last year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Your backup QB is now done. You're like your fucking third, fourth string of the season, and you're like, oh, there goes our chances.
Yeah. So we'll see with all of that. The unfortunately the Kings lost in the playoff. It was a great playoff. So they're no longer at the Stanley Cup. I don't know if you were watching any of the hockey while you were away. But it was a really some really great matches going on with the Kings. They were all nail biters. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
happy.
the hockey's been kind of weird. I mean, the number one team, like they broke the record for most wins. They got eliminated in the first round, the Boston Bruins, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And the the quick team of Vegas is still
yep,
in there, right?
yeah. The Vegas Knights. I know.
Vegas Knights.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh
Because I remember we discussed this trade a few months back. We were
yeah,
like, oh, he's older, another leg, and we're like, yeah, well, he's still in the playoffs.
yeah, exactly. So let's get to the real kit and caboodle here. The Lakers in the finals. Do it in the
Not yet.
playoffs. In the playoffs. In the
The
playoffs.
playoffs, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
They're up 3-2. I think they play today.
yes, you do.
They really need to win today. They need to put Golden State out today. If
Yeah,
not, it's not going to look good.
I believe it's here in Los Angeles as well.
I don't know that. I actually do not know that. But yes, I feel like this is the make or break game for the Lakers to get over this hump. If they let
Golden State.
Golden State into this one and go to a game 7, I think Golden State takes them. Um, I mean, it can't do any worse than Phoenix did. Wow, they got shellacked in their fucking elimination game. They're
Yeah.
getting their ass. They were down 30 at halftime. Ugh,
Jeez.
gross. Yeah.
Jeez. But it's been kind of like that, even for the Lakers. Like on Wednesday, they were like down as well by like a lot. So
Yeah. And then the previous game, they were up by like 25 at halftime. It's been very like the game starts off and it's like it's over. Like if whoever wins this first quarter, like they're winning these first quarters by like 15, 20 points. And it's like it's hard to overcome that. You
yes,
try to make adjustments and yeah.
and yes, it is here in Los Angeles. So
Okay.
at 7 o'clock, I believe it's gonna be on ESPN if you're interested. Like all of Laker Nation is.
Um,
Uh, Baseball's still going on. Good times. I've like we talked about last. I really don't. I've stopped watching baseball unless it's on the weekends because it's conflicting with my sleep time. So, but I still have the score odd. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so I've been just kind of watching it like that when I can. Anything else in sports going on?
Champions League. It's this upcoming week is going to be a very, 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 very important game. So Inter Milan is up 2-0 on AC Milan. So Inter Milan's pretty much wrapped this up. But the big game and the eventual champion. So so everybody thinks whoever wins this matchup is going to win it all, and that's Real Madrid versus Manchester City. They ended their first match at a 1-1 tie. So it's basically 0-0 going into the final game and winner take all. So it's going to be a hell of a stressful game. So very, very big.
Speaking of soccer, football. Did you
Football.
see that Ryan Reynolds' team just moved up in their division?
Yes, Wrexham.
Yeah, wow, man. The Midas touched this Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I mean, he sold his Mint Mobile fucking line for like $1.2 billion. He's his soccer team, and I think he started a trend. It seems as though a lot more stars are going into the soccer realm of purchasing teams and stuff, especially overseas. You
Yeah.
get to buy some of these, you get to buy some of these lower grade teams and build them up, so to speak. But it's good. So Wrexham moved in to the division right under the main division.
Wow.
Yeah, like there's a lot of subdivisions in soccer, a lot. So, but yeah, so I think they just moved into the division below. So if they were to um, if they were to pull this miracle off again, the year after this, after next, they would be in the Premier League.
That's great, and that's what's cool about soccer, and what I wish the NFL would adopt with other like the USFL and all these, like, hey, if we have a team that sucks and you have a team that's better than them, they can move up and be in the NFL, and then we could punish that other team by bringing them down, and I think that would really make more teams more competitive.
It's I think it's harder with that only because of the markets. Like you can't have like in soccer, it's like every division is like a different city. Like cities all over London and stuff. Like you're playing like fucking. It's like if California had like 20 football teams, then it would make sense
We
because you have like
practically
a
do.
team.
We have like 5 or 4 or whatever.
But you know what I mean? It's like the it would be like the uh West Covina, Cowboys. Like they would have to win their division type of thing. Like we'd have to have our own stadium in West Covina that fucking would house, fans type of thing. So that's the huge difference. Like it would make a little bit more sense maybe with like minor league baseball. Um, but then it's kind of like you're gonna get into the basketball
Yeah,
area. So if Milwaukee loses but wins in this division and then wins in this division, then, like that's the amount of teams you would need for something like that to happen, which they just don't.
gotcha, gotcha. Anything else going on in sports?
Uh, Not that I could think of right now. I forgot to look up the ESPN before I got on the phone with you or on the Skype. But no, I mean that pretty much covers like all the major sports. Anything smaller,
Okay, then
yeah.
last call for topics. Is there a topic that you want to discuss or anything, David?
All for topics.
I'm like, oh my god, you might have a topic.
I might have a topic. I didn't get to delve too much into Kansas City in regards to like the stuff that I did enjoy. I feel like more cities need to adopt the KC take on stuff because again, there was a really big like a big push. I felt like there was a lot of city pride, and I feel like there isn't a lot of city pride in major metropolis in like other states. Like Kansas City was like they knew so much about their state and like I feel like that's something that other cities and stuff should be able to adopt and the lore and kind of like what happened and stuff like that. I'm sure there's a few that are like very knowledgeable, but I'm
Probably
telling you, it was
Boston.
it was bananas.
I would say Boston's probably very knowledgeable. Um, not LA, and I'm going to tell you why. Because LA is just filled with transplants.
Yeah,
So it's real tough to have that when half the city is from other states.
but even then, I think there just isn't a sense because Kansas City made it a point to like, dude, like their homelessness, like they have really done a bang up job in regards to like everybody knows about the homelessness and they're like they have places for them to sleep and places for them to eat. So if they're not at these places, they're just choosing, you know, that type of thing. It's like I feel sometimes like California doesn't do California in general, but Southern California doesn't do a really good job of really trying to assist. It's kind of like, all right, we're going to ship them over here to this city, and then they get mad and they ship them over to
Yeah,
this city. It's just like that's the transplant is the homelessness. So
let's all just ship them to Kansas City. They seem to know what to
yeah, this
do.
is yeah right. Like okay, get on a bus,
Yeah.
get on a bus. But I feel like that's a big thing, is trying to figure out the right way to do it. Like if it's working somewhere else, doesn't mean it shows that it could work here too.
Right, right. But Kansas City, not to throw shade on Kansas City, but it's much more of a smaller metropolis,
It
you
is.
know,
It is.
than an LA or a New York at that. So
It's a much more walkable city, and like I said, like I had German food. Like it's even I don't know of many German restaurants in LA. You know, a lot of fusion and stuff. So I'm not saying it's the fit that fits LA. I just felt like there's some things that they they could have done. Like I would be more than happy, like of places that I visited, and because of work I've gone to a lot more places. Like KC was a place that I can go visit again, like on my own, and explore even more, like some stuff. So
all right, cool.
yeah,
Any more topic for you?
no, I'm good.
Okay, I got one topic. It's really what would you do in this scenario?
For a Klondike bar,
Hmm. Okay, so a student got drunk and he emailed his teacher. And I'm going to read you the email. You make the call on what you think happened. It says, "Dear Mr. Martin, just letting you know that you're a motherfucking G and I'm sorry that you're bald. LOL. If you want, I can hook you go with a girl who can get your hair back and keep you banging. Also, I just need to ask you for an extension on my paper. I'm really fucked right now and will be sick at tomorrow. Keep slaying, boy. And I forgot to do school loop again. Love you and see you Monday. Good fucking yard." And then he signs his name. Now, keep in mind, I read it to you, but I didn't read you how he wrote.
So what's the question? Like, who am I playing here? What's the devil's advocate?
You're the teacher here.
Okay,
You get that email.
okay. Um, I don't know. I mean, I would assume that being a college professor, that isn't the first time that's happened. I mean, I like that he starts off complimentary. You know, he's like, "Hey, you're awesome." So, by the way, um, I don't know. I mean,
How would you respond?
I wouldn't respond by email. I would literally wait. Like, I'm not going to see this person until Monday because that means even like because here's the thing. It's like he said he'll see me Monday. I'm not going to respond. I'm gonna let him just sit on it because when he wakes up and sobers up, he's just like, "Fuck," and then he's gonna be worried, and then he's gonna have to like look. And I go, um, if I haven't given him an extension before, I'll give him an extra day, but that's about it. I mean, I get it. I was a college student, but if this is like a constant problem with this guy where he keeps doing this, then no. Like no. Sorry, you gotta learn. You?
Well, the thing is, I know the outcome, so can't really can't really respond.
Oh,
So I wanted to see what you would say with fresh eyes. But
okay. So
luck,
what's the outcome?
luckily, there was a response. Okay, and it reads, "Dear Patrick, sounds like you had a great night. I will extend your paper deadline to Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. It must be submitted on this certain platform. Please refer to my syllabus for information on how to submit your paperwork. I appreciate your concern for my bald head. My wife likes it, and I don't get paid enough to get hair implants. On a side note, what were you drinking last night? next time you email me, I'd like a bottle of whatever you had so I don't have to remember what you said. Signed, Professor.
See, he came correct with it,
Yeah,
which was like, yeah, hey,
yeah, yeah. Total great sport in that
yeah,
gave me the extension, made a little joke. What now?
yeah.
You as a student, would you bring him a bottle of whatever you were drinking?
Yes, definitely. Here's my paper and the bottle.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank you.
definitely. Yeah,
I
as a must at that point.
Let us know what you would do in this scenario. Email us drinkswordsby@gmail.com. And since you're already there on the internet, why don't you log on to drinkswordsby.com? There you'll see the plethora of streaming platforms that we are available on. Go ahead and click that subscribe button. And hey, I know you're listening to us, but if you want to watch us, we are on the YouTube. Yes, go ahead and click that YouTube banner. You can watch our videos and join in the fun and see what we're drinking and all that goodness right there. And you'll notice we do have a Venmo. We have a banner. Go ahead, click on there. Send them some money. Okay. We haven't had money in a while. Our tip jar is empty. And if you think we did a good job and you want to support the show and you want to make sure that we're on next week, hey, send us some money and we could probably facilitate that just a little bit better. You know, doing the show with some extra coin in your pocket, I'll tell you what, makes a for a better day. Um, yeah. Any last thing we need to plug, David? Our
uh,
Instagram. That's right. We are on Instagram.
IG.
On the IG at Drinks Towards By. From time to time, I post a little snippet of a show, and I'll post when we have a new show. So go ahead on the IG at Drinks Towards By. David, what were you gonna say?
No, I appreciate all our listeners, our viewers. Just want to. I know we've been hit or miss on a weekly basis lately. We're going to do our best to kind of stay true to the show. Although I do have a lot of shows coming up where I'll be out of town uh, next week. I'm doing a show, and the problem is I'm doing overnights, so it actually might work out where we do an early show. Um, and then I go to Chicago. I might be going to Milwaukee in
Milwaukee,
July. Milwaukee.
as the gunk would say, the good land.
Yeah, I did. I always now ever since I always Milwaukee. Um, so I might be doing a Harley Davidson festival in the great land of Milwaukee. And yeah, so it's a lot of traveling I got coming up. Hopefully more too, because I there's a big a drought coming up in progressive work. So yeah,
All right.
we will do our best to keep you entertained as well as ourselves. I always enjoy talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed talking to you too. All right. Final cheers.
Final cheers.
Final
It's like we're
cheers,
so
everybody.
out of the loop. Like, oh, what is next? Checklist. Final cheers.
David, what are we cheersing to this week?
Um, so this is going to be a little bit of a somber one. Uh, I I found out that a coworker slash friend uh, from the job that I did in Kansas City, uh, soon after us getting back, passed away. Uh, this person succumbed. He succumbed to his addictions.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was kind of a tough news to get. It was I really like when you meet somebody and you don't even have to know them that long, but you really just kind of like enjoy that person's company and time. And um, so I want to cheers to my friend and to let everybody know that if you have these addictions, that it's always okay to talk to somebody. If you need to talk to us, need to bring something up, you want to hit us in DMs, if you need to chat, something, anything that we can do to help or anybody can do to help with that situation, please don't be afraid. So cheers to my friend. I don't want to put names out there. So, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers to him. And my cheers is gonna go out to tacos because you know even a broke up taco is still a taco nonetheless. And just like people, we could be broken but still be awesome at the same time. So, cheers to that.
That is actually a very great like like idealistic way of looking at it. Like even a fucked up taco, still a good taco.
Exactly. I'm not gonna lie, I read that somewhere. I was like, that's pretty good.
It's not on a shirt. No, no, yeah.
Yeah. So, that's gonna wrap it up for this edition of Drinks to Words by David. Kick him out.
Stay safe, stay loving, get out.
And we are out of here later.